Hello and welcome to the week that just needs to end. Hello, my name is Justin, and if you're new here, I make weekly videos where I go through my budgeting process. I get paid bi-weekly for my 9-to-5 job. This week is a pay week, so I get paid every other Wednesday. On the Wednesdays that I don't get paid, I usually make a video of either allocating supplemental income that I've created for myself, or I go over some things that are about my budget. But this video is going to be allocating my paycheck. You'll also notice that ready to assign above my head is a little bit higher than normal. There's a few things for that. Obviously, if you've been kind of paying attention, the specialty assignment for my position has kicked in. But I also received a check in the mail from Capital One Finance, who I think it was from my truck, maybe. I don't think that it's anything with the Jetta, but I received a check a little over $500 from them for gap insurance. I guess there was some extra money on that when I sold the truck or traded the truck in, there was money that they sent back my way. So that was a complete surprise to me. I wasn't expecting that. So checking my mail the other day actually, and seeing a check in there for $504 was awesome, because if you've also been paying attention, I have purchased a few new setup items for my new desk setup, and this was the week or the paycheck that I was going to need to figure out how to pay for some of that stuff. So there was a lot of stuff done kind of behind the scenes. I don't like saving a lot of things too long, especially when it means kind of moving money around or kind of shifting things in the budget, because I'm the type of person that if it's not done right away, it won't be done correctly, or I may forget some things that need to go into it. So the 23, 30, and 21 cents that you see above my head, I wrote it down. 19.86 and 79 cents of that is from my paycheck. So about $130 higher of a paycheck. I wish it was more, but Uncle Sam and state sanctioned pension plan money kind of made sure that I didn't get a whole lot extra. And then $343.42 of that $504 check is in that ready to assign. So the remaining couple $100 from that check, I've already shifted it to cover some overspending, and those overspending items were from my desk setup. So that is what we have to assign. I also want to go over a couple things that have changed in my budget since the last time I filmed a video, which seems like a long time ago, because my last video that I filmed, it posted on Wednesday, last Wednesday, but I actually filmed it the Sunday prior. I knew I didn't need to wait for any, money to hit my account or anything. It was just a February closeout video. So I had some time on Sunday and just decided to film it. So yeah, it feels like eons ago that I was in front of the camera recording a video for you guys, but here we are. So in the time that I filmed my last video, a couple things have changed. Obviously, I went through the whole debacle of getting that KVM switch returned, also getting the new one shipped out. Let me tell you, if you haven't had to deal with refunds, specifically refunds on a credit card, I guess refunds in general are just really challenging in these types of softwares. But yeah, that was tough for me to kind of work through. That's probably the most complex thing, more so complex than keeping track of all of my accounts that I have, making sure I'm moving money into the right account. Yeah, long story short, that refund kicked my butt to try to get it to work. Now, I'd love to hear how you guys handle refunds. I think there's a couple of different ways you can do it. What I did was and I've done this when I was working with Monarch Money, I always do the refund the same day as the original charge. So in this particular case, I purchased the KVM switch, that original KVM switch, in February. I didn't get the refund back until just the other day, so the next month. So some people will add that refund in as like income for the month. I don't view refunds as income. It's basically a net zero to me, right? I purchased the item, I got the money back, so technically I didn't purchase the item. So that's why I always do the refund regardless of when I get it. It could be months later. I will always put that transaction in the same month and on the same day as the original transaction. So what that did was I had set that money aside. I had budgeted that money aside for that item in my technology category, or yeah, I guess it's a category. And because I used my credit card, it automatically moved it up to the credit card area. Well, the month rolled over, and that money that I had set aside for the credit card payment, obviously I didn't make the payment because I knew I was going to get the money back, but it rolled over as well. And what kind of complicated a little bit is I was still using the credit card for other things. And I'd also, even before I got the refund, ordered a second KVM switch. And my plan was to have those kind of offset each other. So in the end, it did offset each other. I had about $90 of the original money that I had set aside and budgeted for the KVM switch to kind of cover some other expenses that I made on the credit card. So overall, I shifted everything around. I added manually that transaction to get the refund, which is going to throw some errors, I think, because Amazon decided to refund both of my products separately to total the amount that I paid. So I have one single transaction for the whole amount. When it imports, it'll import both of them, and then I'm just going to have to delete those. So that is fixed. Everything is right in the world. I have zeroed out my credit card. I made a payment. Yeah, I made a payment yesterday for about $440. That's how much my credit card payment was this time. Speaking of credit cards, another change that I've made, and I've been working towards this for several months, so I'm really, really excited about this. I have upgraded my credit card wallet, so I got a new credit card, and this credit card is a actual, like, true rewards, travel rewards credit card. So a few months ago, I think I mentioned it on here that I converted one of my credit cards to a rewards card. So basically what I did is I had Capital One's pretty much low tier credit card, the platinum credit card. It started out as a secured credit card years ago, and kind of converted to an unsecured, I think last year or the year before. And then I was given an offer a couple months ago to upgrade it to a Quicksilver card, which is technically a rewards card. It gives you 1.5% cash back on all purchases. So it's basically like a catch-all. And I've gotten, since upgrading to that card, I have, I think, like $30 in rewards cash. So it's not a lot. But the problem with that card is my credit card limit doesn't allow me to pay my biggest expense with that card, which is my rent. So my credit limit was $1,900. My rent, as you guys know, is a little bit over $1,900. So my biggest bill, and the bill that would give me, or the charge that would give me the biggest rewards, I couldn't use on that card, which is why it was really slow to grow rewards points, because all of my other bills are just like $100 each. Well, the other day, what is this? I'm filming this on Tuesday. On, I think, Saturday or Sunday this past weekend, I got notification that I was pre-qualified for the Capital One, a couple Capital One credit cards. So I was pre-approved for two of them. I remember off the top of my head. I don't know what the other one was, but the two that I remember was the Capital One Venture rewards card and the Capital One Venture X card. So if you're not familiar with those, basically the difference is you get the same benefits, really. The only difference is the rewards, like the lower tier one has a $95 annual fee. The Venture X has $395 annual fee. The Venture X has, you get 10,000 points or miles every anniversary. So every year you get basically $100 worth in travel. And then I think you also get a $350 travel amount every year that has to be used in that year. So it's kind of a use it or lose it. So ultimately I decided I wasn't quite ready for a $395 annual fee, even though I know that those bonuses would offset. I don't typically travel that much, which is the reason I have been working towards getting these credit cards, is because I want to travel more. But I don't make enough money to book plane tickets. So I applied for and was approved for the Capital One rewards card. So I will get 75,000 miles, which is essentially $750 once I reach that $4,000 usage in 3 months, which I'll be able to do probably in a month and a half. The reason I'll be able to do that is because the credit limit on this card is almost double what my other card was. So that means I can now use the card to pay my rent, which even with the credit card fee of like $3 or $4, the rewards that I would get on that totally outweigh that charge. And I can pay all of my other bills with that credit card. So I'm going to be able to rack up a couple $100 in rewards every year, which means I'll be able to travel more often, because I won't have to pay for flights, or if I do, it'll be very minimal. So I'm super excited about that. Like I said, I've been working towards that for months now, trying to get my credit to a point to where I can be qualified for a card like that. Eventually, I think I might upgrade to the Venture X. Ultimately, that is the card that I want. But this Venture Rewards card is going to be kind of like that foot in the door to kind of learn everything there is to know about rewards points and how to use the stuff for travel. So that is the biggest change to my accounts, which it's so recent, I haven't even added that as a credit card on here. I don't even have the physical card yet. It hasn't even shipped out. So that is like hot off the press. again, super excited for it. So the next time I film a video, you'll probably see that rewards card on here listed. And I will no longer be using this Capital One Quicksilver card. The rewards are more lucrative on the card that I just got. So that one will sit in my wallet or maybe sit in a drawer somewhere, and I'll just keep it open. So I'm trying to think what else. I successfully moved my due date for my car, and you'll notice it's no longer listed under the bill pay outflow. What I did was I moved it to the account. So if you're not familiar, my categories and groups are based on my accounts. That's how I like to track my balances to kind of reconcile everything. So I use this Savings Goal 1 account to pay my car bill. So I moved it down here, and I also changed the due date. I also updated the target to $250 just to be round number. So that's also another change that I've made. And I think I have a change in here. Yeah, so I added the Capital One Venture annual fee in here of $95. So this is going to be a non-monthly, yearly thing that I'm going to start saving for. And I'm not quite sure when that will be due, which is why I haven't set a target. So once I know exactly when that due date will be, whether that's like March or April, I'm not sure, that will start being a target that I need to cover. Trying to think if there's anything else. Like I said, there's a lot. There was a lot, and it doesn't help that I've had a lot of things going on at work. My work laptop decided to commit suicide, which is crazy because it's a brand new laptop. We all on my team, we all got new laptops like 6 or 8 months ago, and it decided to literally commit suicide to the point to where they had to like factory reset the computer. So yeah, I woke up Monday morning to that. So I couldn't work Monday morning, which means I had to kind of shift some of my work that I usually do on Monday mornings to other coworkers, and they messed up a lot of things because they didn't follow directions. We have written directions on how to do things, and they didn't follow it. So it took me all day Monday and all day today, which is Tuesday, to fix all of the issues that were created by the other people messing up my templates and files. So yeah, this is exactly the reason why this week needs to end, is because I've had a rough week. Mix in that, I also just started my master's classes on Monday. So I'm super stressed out about that. Work is, working, and my budget, I've had a lot of moving parts to try to keep track. But we are here to assign money. Like I said, we've got a decent amount to assign. As you can see, I only have about $720 underfunded for the month of March. So we'll go through and see. This is the first paycheck of March. I haven't done much prep, so this is going to be like my first time figuring all this out, recording this. But we'll see if I want to budget everything from March, or if I want to just kind of take it to the point to where my next paycheck will pick up. So because this is my first paycheck of the month, I always go into the next month and I set aside half of my rent. So my rent is about $930. So I always half fund that of $965. And then my second paycheck of the month, I set aside the difference. I don't always set aside $965 both times. Most times by that second paycheck, I will know what my rent is going to be, and I'll just kind of make up the difference in that, extra money that would have made up the $965 will just go somewhere else. So I'll go back to March, and like I said, all of my credit card stuff is paid off. I'm at a zero balance, so I don't have any overspending to cover anymore. So we're just going to go down the list, and I get paid next. I get paid on the 25th. No, 26th. So I need to pay, definitely I need to prioritize everything between now and the 26th to make sure that everything is paid before I get paid again. So that's going to be my Ring camera. You'll notice you might notice, my Netflix is no longer $7.59. So turns out the March bill that I'm about to be charged for is when that $7.99 base charge hits. And I live in an area that taxes is 8.6%. So $8.68, that is how much I've calculated to pay the fees and the base, all taxes and everything. So I also changed the due date. I had it on the 16th this whole time, and apparently it's a bill that gets hit on the 15th. So you'll maybe notice if you really pay attention that due date is different. Also, the target, I've updated the target to reflect the new bill amount and the new due date. So we will cover that. Spotify 1302, I don't think that's going to be up increasing anytime soon. I have my car insurance, which is due on the 17th, and then my internet, which is due on the 21st. So I will go ahead and I'll just fund those. That way I can close this out. Gas and groceries. So I have this $35.93 left in my grocery budget. I ended up so I go to Fry's, which is basically Kroger, if you're familiar with that chain of grocery stores. And there is a lot of coupons, that like electronic coupons and stuff, and savings. So I always budget $200 for groceries, and I usually spend right around the max that I can. I'm usually pretty good about making that money go as far as it can. Well, when I got to the checkout, I had $200 worth of groceries, and I only paid about $150. So I had about $50 worth of savings from coupons and deals and stuff, which is crazy. So, and I'm actually realizing, I don't know why I have 183 assigned. Normally it's 200. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. But I have this $35.93 just sitting here. I don't think I'm going to need it for groceries. I've got enough groceries to last the month. So more than likely this might roll over to something else when I get closer to the end of the month. I'll figure out if I need that money there or if I can use it for something else. More than likely, if I need to have it roll over, I'll probably just dump it in my car fund, something like that. I am not quite at 3/4 of a tank, so I don't need gas yet. And household, I want to put $100 in a start. And then I think what I'm going to do is every paycheck, I'll throw $25 in up to, I think I'm going to max this out up to like $250 because I don't want to have a ton of money sitting in there. But I think 200 or 250 or something like that is plenty enough to where if I need to go buy like every possible consumable household item all at once, which is like doomsday situation, I would have enough money to do it. But for now, I'm not going to put any money in there because I want to kind of see what else is going on. So I'm going to leave this open. We'll come back to it. Utilities. Looks like utilities is already funded. I guess I funded it in the last paycheck, so that's good. Non-monthly. I need to kind of do these. So my rent insurance, my YNAB subscription, and my car registration. These are my and taxes. I put a little bit of money in taxes just in case I owe. After this past tax season, I kind of made some adjustments to my withholdings. And so I'm hoping that that brings me back down to like not having a whole lot of refund or owing a lot, but I'm still going to set aside about $9 or $10 a month just in case. So we will fund those. I think the MLB package I'll start having to fund next month for the new renewal. And then again, like I said, I'm going to wait on setting aside $95 for my annual fee on my credit card until I know exactly when that is due. And then I'll set a target for that. Car maintenance. Eventually I'm going to start putting money aside here. My sunroof stopped opening for some reason. I mean, it's fine. I've never had a sunroof before, so it's not like I need it. But it'd be nice that it opens. So eventually I'll probably take it in to get it looked at and figure out what's going on with that, but not right now. Pet expenses. I do want to put some money in here. Also, this is another change that I forgot. Dog food used to be up in bill pay. The reason I had it up in bill pay is because that was where I put all of my routine monthly bills, and dog food is typically a routine monthly bill. But what I realized this past time is I didn't budget the money soon enough. Normally, I'm usually pretty good about it, but I think buying all the KVM switch and technology stuff kind of threw me off a little bit. So I moved dog food down to the group of pet expenses that is its own account at Chase that I have. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fund, much like I'm doing with the household, I'm going to fund $100. I'm going to fund $100 right now. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to start a little bit of a pot of money. And I'm usually having to spend about $85 to $100 every 3 weeks to get dog food. The box lasts 4 weeks. I usually like to get it about a week early because I've had issues with it being delivered to the wrong place, being lost, and having to reorder it, which takes more time. So a week gives me enough time to not run out of dog food and not have dog food. So I'm going to put that $100 in there. And now what I'm going to do every paycheck, I'm going to put either $25 or $50 in there every paycheck. That way it kind of builds. And when I make a payment for dog food, I'm thinking of having an auto pay set up. Well, anyways, that way I have money in there, and any extra money at the end of the year, I'm going to throw into like the goodies area. So that way I'm setting money aside for his dog food, and then also any extra that I don't spend at the end of the year, I'll be able to get him something nice, which I will be getting him another bed soon. So a couple months ago, I think it was for Christmas, I got him a new bed. He loves that bed. That bed stays out here in the living room. He also has his old bed in the bedroom. What I don't like about that bed is that when he gets sick at night and I don't wake up quick enough to corral him to the hardwood floor, he throws up on that bed, and it's cloth. It has a foam insert, and overnight, you can imagine where that dog throw up goes. You can't clean that stuff very easily. I can throw the bed in the wash, but that foam is really difficult. It's also like 6 or 7 years old. So I found a Kong bed. I think it's like $50 or $60. It is, I don't know what material it is. It's kind of like that raincoat material, but it's waterproof, which means it's dog throw up proof. And so if he throws up on it, I can just take it out in the backyard and hose it off, and it's fine. So I might put money aside in here this month. I don't know if I'm going to do it now or if I'll do it on my next paycheck. We'll see. But I definitely do want to get that dog bed for him this month. So that is my plan. Yeah, that's my plan there. I also want to start kind of building up boarding and vet money, because if I do travel, like I'm with this new rewards credit card, I'm planning on taking a trip home to Georgia to visit some family, and he's not the kind of dog that I can take. I'm not going to take him on a plane. I'm not going to drive. So I board him when I travel, and I need to get his shots up to date, and I want to get him groomed as well. So I'm going to probably have to start putting money in those categories soon to kind of prepare for those, but not right now. What else? Discretionary. Here's another thing that I want to change. Normally what I do is the last paycheck of the month or the first paycheck of the month, one of those two, I usually put $100 in discretionary, and then that $100 has to cover me until the next time I put another $100 in. Well, what I found here recently is because I'm putting that money in there, I'm using it, right? That's what it's there for. It's money put in that account for me to do fun things with. Whatever fun means to me at that time, I'm going to do it. So there are times where I just blow through that money and I don't have any money to do other things. So I'm going to, again, like I'm doing with dog food and like I'm doing with consumables, I'm going to throw $100 in here now. And then every paycheck, I'm going to put, I think, $50 in because my goal is $100 every month. So that way I'm always every 2 weeks refilling it at least $50, which will give me a little bit more money to kind of do things if I splurge and spend it all in one place. So I'm going to put $100 in here, and then now moving forward, every paycheck, I will put $50 in there. And so that I don't forget, I'm actually going to put a note here. If I can spell. So $50 every paycheck. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to do 50 every paycheck here. And then again, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to do I think I'm going to do 25 on this one because it's just me and I don't really do a whole lot of consumables, or like most of my consumables last a while. So I'm going to do $25 every paycheck, and we'll call that good. So and I don't know why I'm going to put 150 every paycheck. There we go. So now that way I have more money in that account more often. What else? Emergency fund. Again, that's already where I want it to be for now. I don't do anything with HSA retirement. I don't do anything on my own right now. I do need to put money in here, so I'm going to put $250. And I need to update this. When I refinanced, it dropped down like $1 or so, so I need to figure out what that payment is again and update this number. But my plan is to do $250 a month and then periodically use the money that I'm setting aside in this category, the extra car payments, which right now I have about $2,200 to make principal payments. I've started donating plasma this week, so I'm gonna start having a couple $100 in extra income to throw at that, like I was doing before. And then I planned on starting Uber in February, just didn't happen. I planned on starting in February, hasn't happened, or I'm sorry, in March, hasn't happened yet. I'm dreading doing that just because I don't enjoy that kind of work, but it is much easier than getting a second job and having to work a second job. I can do it when I want, especially now because I have schooling that I need to take care of. And so my time is going to be extremely limited. And I'm probably going to have to start doing that if I want to make my goal of paying off my car this year or this summer. So we'll see how that goes. But I've funded that. This underfunded, I think, is just the gas. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to need to buy gas the rest of this month. So I'm going to snooze that, which means I have funded everything for the month of March, which I've said this before, it's crazy to be fully funded on the first paycheck of the month. And I still have almost $600. I think the last time I did this, I had $300. Now I have $600. Half of that is from that check that I got. So technically I only have $300 again, but that means I have $600 that I can do some other things with. So I do want to I'm gonna start with $25. Actually, I'll do 50. So now household has 50. I will be needing laundry detergent probably in the next week or two. So that'll be more than enough to get laundry detergent. And then I do the Glade plugin stuff. So I could use some new little canisters or whatever they are. So I'll probably use that up pretty quickly, and then I'll do $25. And I actually just realized I spelled that wrong. What a week, I'm telling you. Okay. So that is taken care of. I'm going to open that. So normally what I would do, or prior to this video, or just kind of thinking about it right now, I've been wanting a desk. So I already have the desk picked out that I want. It is it's an 80-inch, 80-inch sit stand desk. I think it's going to be about $250 to $300 on Amazon. But this table that I bought from Walmart, although it's wobbly, it is really working out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my desk on the back burner, and I'm going to start attacking my car again. And then once I pay off my car, I'll probably buy the desk. This table, I think, is going to suffice for a couple months for sure. Maybe the rest of this year, I don't know. I'm a pretty simple guy. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of stuff in this apartment, so I'm a minimalist at heart. Mainly because I'm typically moving every year, and so the less amount of stuff that I have, the less I have to move. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep this table. It's working out great. And that means this $543. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure there's nothing else that I need or want to do. Don't need to put anything there. I've already put $100 in discretionary. I'm not planning on doing any more technology for a while. Let me go into here. And this is still a really weird spot to be in. But eventually it'll become normal, right? This is what we all aspire to do. be at a point to where we are basically a month ahead. Now, I'm not a month ahead yet, even though it does say 30 days age of money. I'm technically 11 days into the month. So there's still 11 days of funding that I need to catch up on to be fully and truly 1 month ahead. But for all intents and purposes, I am basically a month ahead. So what I'm going to do, I don't need to fund anything else. I've got all of my bills paid for this month. I'll take care of my April bills when I get my second paycheck in March. All of this money, $543.86, is going to go right into my car extra payments. So $543.86. So that'll give me almost $3,000, which is about 25% of my car paid down already. My my total loan was like 12 or 13,000, something like that. So being almost at the 3,000 mark is basically a quarter of the way there. Which is awesome, right? I'm a quarter of the way there, and I haven't really broken any records in supplemental income. I haven't needed to drive for Uber yet, but if I did drive for Uber, like for February and March, I'd probably be almost at the 50%. Certainly, I might have broken the 50% mark. So it sucks in that regard that I've left that money on the table, but yeah, that's something that I really need a pep talk to kind of do. I'm not a people person. That's why I have a desk job. That's why I don't do a whole lot of things out and about. I'm not a very social person. I like to be by myself. I like to just hang out with the dog. But yeah, having strangers in my car just unsettling, to say the least. So yeah, that basically ends this video. I'm happy with where my money went this paycheck. It feels good to have a little extra in my paycheck because of my specialty assignment. For those following, I think interviews will be next week, the end of next week. So I'll be preparing for that. And I'm hoping in the next week after that, a decision will be made. So certainly by my next paycheck, maybe by the end of the month, I might have a new title. And then I'll just be covering my current position that I'm in as that new position. So yeah, we'll see how everything goes, but I will leave I'll leave this here, and we'll pick up again next week, Wednesday.